Welcome back to another video here in Recap Scenes. What we have for you today is a Disney movie from way back in 1993 entitled The Nightmare Before Christmas. Spoiler alert, here it goes. It all happened in a small town with different kinds of creepy creatures. It was Halloween and they were celebrating the day. There was singing and there were different kinds of fun. After it all, the mayor gave awards. Jack that day wasn't able to receive an award. He eventually went on to his place and spoke out his thoughts. Sally was also there and listened to him secretly for a while. He went walking and walking without even knowing where to go. As he came to his senses, he suddenly found himself in the woods. The trees had different doors on them. Jack decided to open the one with the Christmas tree. After opening it, he did not actually decide to go in, but the door sucked him in. Jack then found himself in a new place. A place that is full of surprises and joy, a place where Santa Claus lived. He found out about Christmas and he became interested in knowing more about it. The town was already panicking, looking for him everywhere, and then realized that Jack was missing. On the other hand, Sally gave it a shot to poison the evil scientist. She cooked soup and put it in devil nightshade, covered it up with a frog's breath and warm spice. She could have been caught but was able to be safe because of the spoon with holes. Jack then came back to town and brought the news to his friends and neighbors. Sally was able to go as the evil scientist became asleep. He caught their attention and tried convincing them. He explains that Christmas is something happy and about giving gifts. He realized that nobody really understood the meaning of Christmas, as he explained. After that day, he spent his time exploring what Christmas was about. He went to borrow materials from the evil scientist and did experiments to know more about this Christmas. At this time, Sally is locked up, for the scientist has woken up from the poisoning. Sally knew about the experiment he went to do. Sally sneaked out her way to go to Jack that night. Sally gave Jack things as a somewhat expression of love and quickly disappeared from his sight. Sally sat down in a corner and picked up a dried flower. She plucked out the petals one by one, and it came to her surprise that the flower magically turned into a small Christmas tree but popped right away. Jack was all frustrated that night to know more about Christmas. He wanted to show everybody what Christmas really is. He tried to gather everyone in town and had them participate in his plans. He had them work on different things like making gifts. As for the scientist, he asked them to make him flying reindeers and a sleigh. He even assigned people to kidnap Santa Claus from inside the woods. Jack even wanted to have himself a dress like Santa's, so he asked Sally to do it. Sally insists she can't do it. She has poor eyesight, but Jack still trusts her with it. How great it really is as things go the way he wanted them to be. It was until the people he sent to get Santa Claus came back. Out of the bag came out a giant bunny. Jack was not happy about it, so they returned the bunny and went again to get the real Santa. The people are making different kinds of gifts out of what they have. They're making gifts out of the heads and anything of the dead. It's now finally Christmas time. The elves are also making gifts for children. Santa Claus is preparing his list for the kids, choosing who's been naughty and nice. Then 3 people came to get him. Jack at this time wore the dress he asked Sally to make. Jack insists that he's better being changed to Santa than being the Pumpkin King. The people came back to Jack having the real Santa Claus. He now met Santa Claus. He even noticed that Santa does not really have the claws at all, but hands. Jack then realized what was the missing piece in his overall change. The people who kidnapped Santa brought him to the Oogie Boogie. They pressed him in the tunnel way down to Oogie Boogie's chamber. Oogie Boogie enjoying his new visitor and plans what to do with Santa. Santa pleads with Oogie to let him out now, but Oogie gets more excited to play with his tricks. Jack enjoys his transformation as Santa as they prepare for his takeoff. Jack is going to ride the sleigh and send the gifts to the children. Sally does not feel good about Jack going far. She fears losing her chance for her unconfessed love for Jack. Jack entered the house of the first child on the list and gave the gift. The child was speechless and shocked seeing Jack. He opened the gift he received and found himself ahead. The police received a call right after. Jack continued to the next houses to leave gifts. Little did Jack know the gifts he left were alive and creepy. The people who saw the gifts screamed in fear. The police are flooded with calls regarding the situation. The night turned out to be a night full of screams instead of joy. The people in the Halloween town are watching what's happening with Jack. They were all happy that there were many people that they had scared. Jack still knows nothing about what's happening. Sally is concerned about what will happen to Jack. She went down to look for Santa Claus. Jack is still flying with the sleigh and enjoys the ride. He's being attacked, but he does not really understand it yet. Sally went down to Oogie Boogie to save Santa Claus. Sally detached one of her legs and tried to seduce Oogie to distract his attention. Oogie falls into the trap and enjoys tickling Sally's foot. On the other hand, Sally is trying to free Santa from being tied up. Sally was able to do so, but Oogie caught them immediately. Oogie, in his anger, screamed aloud, and he was able to get Sally and Santa into his hands. Jack at this time realized that he was actually being attacked, but even before he could dodge it, he got a strike. The people in the Halloween town were sad about what happened. The mayor immediately announced the tragedy that happened. Jack just woke up and is still doing fine. He is sad about what happened and regrets what he's done. He felt unappreciated for the things he did, which he thought were a good thing. He also came to his senses that he was the Pumpkin King, that is, for Halloween. He then decided to come back and save Santa Claus. He immediately went to where Oogie stayed. There, he found Santa and Sally tied up. Oogie plans what to do with Santa and Sally through his dice. Jack entered the scene and interrupted Oogie's plans. Oogie was surprised that Jack was still alive and planned to kill him as well. Oogie clicked the buttons in his traps. Jack danced to dodge the spinning swords. Oogie got scared of Jack and then pressed the buttons to attack him with the guns. Jack again danced on the top of this trap. Oogie pressed the final button for his last attack, which is a moving blade. Jack was again able to save himself from it. Now Oogie is cornered, hanging in the machine from one of his traps. Jack surprisingly was able to get at least a piece of thread from Oogie. Jack destroyed Oogie with a piece of thread as he ruined what Oogie wears. The cloth got tangled in the machine and then Oogie got exposed. Oogie was a bunch of cockroaches and other insects together inside the cloth. He eventually fell into the trap of lava where he tried to put Santa and Sally in. One insect from Oogie was able to escape, but Santa stepped on it as he saw it. Jack apologized to Santa for what he had done with Christmas and even returned Santa's hat. Santa Claus was pissed off and hurried to go. Jack asked if there was still time to fix everything for Christmas. Santa proudly says yes and then flew away. Sally and Jack then had the time to talk on their own. Jack was surprised that Sally was down there with Oogie. Sally was shy to explain why, and when they were about to get more intimate with their talk, a light flashed, focusing on them. It was their friends and neighbors that were surprised to know that Jack was alive. The whole community celebrated in joy. As they celebrated, snow started to fall. Everybody was surprised by the snow, for they had never seen and experienced it before. Sally picked a flower and went away. The people played in the snow here and there, making snow angels and skating on the ice. The evil scientist had a replacement for Sally. Sally went to an ice top with a beautiful view of the moon. She picked out the petals of the flower again, then Jack came to see her. Jack and Sally had their intimate moment. They confessed and kissed. What are your thoughts about the movie? Be sure to check out our other recaps here.